There's a special kind of hell that comes with knowing something is terribly wrong with your body, and having every doctor you see tell you it's all in your head. For 14 months I begged for help. 14 months of escalating symptoms, of sleepless nights, of weight loss and pain and exhaustion so profound I could barely function. 14 months of being told I was anxious, depressed, stressed, hormonal, that I needed therapy not tests, that I was too young, too healthy looking, too worried about nothing. 14 months of being gaslit by the very people who took an oath to help me. Until the day I collapsed at work and they finally ran the tests I'd been begging for. Stage 3 colon cancer. At 32 years old. By the time they found it, the tumor was the size of a lemon. It had spread to my lymph nodes. I'd been walking around with aggressive cancer eating away at my body while doctor after doctor patted my hand and told me to calm down. I should be dead. The only reason I'm not is because I refused to accept their dismissal. Because I kept fighting. Because I trusted my body over their condescension. This is my story. It's about medical gaslighting. About being a young woman in a healthcare system that doesn't believe us when we say something's wrong. About the symptoms I ignored because professionals told me to. About the moment everything changed. And about the brutal journey of surviving a cancer that should have been caught months earlier. If you've ever been dismissed by a doctor, told your symptoms are just anxiety, or made to feel crazy for knowing your own body, this story is for you. If you're struggling right now to get someone to listen, this story might save your life. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you isn't just my story. It's happening to thousands of people right now. Young people, healthy people, people who look fine on the outside while dying on the inside. And the medical system is failing them. But I'm here to tell you, trust yourself, advocate for yourself, and never ever stop fighting for answers, because your life might depend on it. Now let me take you back to where it all began. The day I first knew something was wrong. It started so small I almost didn't notice. March 2021. I was 31 years old, working as a marketing manager for a tech startup, running 3 times a week, living in a tiny apartment in Portland with my rescue dog Bailey, and planning a trip to Greece with my best friend Sarah for the fall. Life was normal, good even. And then one morning I woke up tired. Not regular tired. Not I stayed up too late binge watching Netflix tired. This was different. This was bone-deep, soul-crushing exhaustion that made lifting my head off the pillow feel like climbing a mountain. You're just stressed, I told myself. Work has been crazy. You're not sleeping well. You're probably fighting off a cold. I doubled down on my vitamins. Went to bed earlier. Cut back on coffee, thinking maybe the caffeine was masking exhaustion. But it got worse. By April I was exhausted all the time. My morning runs became walks. Then the walks became struggles. I'd come home and collapse on the couch, too tired to even change out of my workout clothes. Maybe I'm anemic, I thought. I'd been anemic before in college. Made sense. I scheduled an appointment with my primary care doctor, Dr. Patterson. She'd been my doctor for 3 years. Nice woman, always thorough, good listener. Or so I thought. So what brings you in today, Kate? She asked, pulling up my chart on her computer. I'm just really tired. All the time. It's been about 6 weeks now and it's not getting better. I thought maybe I'm anemic again. She nodded, typing notes. Any other symptoms? Fever? Cough? Sore throat? No, nothing like that. Just exhausted. And maybe. I hesitated, feeling silly. Maybe some stomach issues? Like I've been a bit constipated. But that's probably not related. Are you stressed at work? The question threw me. I mean, yeah, work is busy, but it's always busy. This feels different. How are you sleeping? Not great, but that's because I'm worried about how tired I am. And are you eating well? Sometimes when we're busy we forget to take care of ourselves. I felt my frustration rising. I'm eating fine. Dr. Patterson, I really think something's off. This isn't normal for me. She smiled. That particular smile. The one I'd come to recognize over the next year. The one that said you're overreacting. Kate, you're 31 years old. You're healthy. Your vitals are perfect. I think what we're looking at here is probably stress and anxiety. Your job is demanding, you're not sleeping well, and that creates a cycle. The anxiety makes you tired, the tiredness makes you anxious, and around we go. But I've never had anxiety before. Anxiety can develop at any age, especially in high-stress careers. She was already typing in her computer. I'm going to prescribe you something that should help. It's a low-dose anti-anxiety medication. Take it for a month and let's see how you feel. And maybe consider seeing a therapist. Cognitive behavioral therapy can be really helpful for managing work stress. I left with a prescription I didn't want and a growing sense that she hadn't actually heard me. But she was the doctor. She'd gone to medical school. She'd seen thousands of patients. Maybe she was right. Maybe I was just anxious. I filled the prescription, took the pills, made an appointment with a therapist, and I got sicker. By June, new symptoms appeared. Stomach cramps. Not terrible but persistent. A dull ache in my lower abdomen that came and went throughout the day. And blood. Just a little at first. When I wiped after using the bathroom, there was sometimes a streak of bright red blood on the tissue. I googled it. Big mistake. Hemorrhoids, the internet told me. Common. Usually from constipation or straining. Nothing to worry about. But the internet also said, see a doctor if bleeding persists. I called Dr. Patterson's office. Got an appointment 3 weeks out. In the meantime, the bleeding continued. The exhaustion deepened. I was sleeping 9-10 hours a night and waking up feeling like I hadn't slept at all. My boss pulled me aside. Kate, are you okay? You seem really out of it lately. I'm fine, I lied. Just not sleeping great. Maybe take a few days off? You look exhausted. I didn't have the energy to explain that days off didn't help. That this wasn't regular tiredness. That something was wrong and no one would listen. When I finally saw Dr. Patterson again, I was prepared. The anxiety medication isn't helping, I told her firmly. And I have new symptoms. I'm having stomach cramps and there's blood when I use the bathroom. She looked up from her computer. Rectal bleeding? Yes. Not a lot, but it's been happening for about 3 weeks now. And you're still constipated? Yes. She nodded slowly. Okay. This is most likely hemorrhoids, which are very common and nothing to worry about. The constipation causes strain, which causes hemorrhoids, which causes bleeding. It's all connected. But what about the exhaustion? And the cramping? The exhaustion is likely still stress-related. And cramping can be from the constipation as well. Your bowels are struggling, which causes discomfort. She typed something. I'm going to prescribe you a stool softener and a cream for the hemorrhoids. Increase your fiber intake. Drink more water. And keep taking the anxiety medication. These things take time to work. Dr. Patterson, I really don't think this is anxiety. Kate. She turned to face me fully, her expression kind but firm. I understand you're worried, but you're young and healthy. Your blood work from April was perfect. Your vitals are perfect. What you're describing is very common and not concerning. I promise you if there was something seriously wrong, we'd see other indicators. Can we do more tests? A colonoscopy or... A colonoscopy? She actually laughed. Kate, you're 31. Colonoscopies are for people over 45, or people with significant risk factors. You have neither. A colonoscopy is invasive, expensive, and completely unnecessary for someone your age with your symptoms. But the bleeding is almost certainly hemorrhoids. Try the treatment I'm prescribing. Give it a month. If it's not better, we'll reassess. I left feeling dismissed, patronized, but also doubting myself. She was the expert. She'd said my blood work was perfect. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe I was just anxious and stressed and making everything worse by worrying. I tried the cream, took the stool softener, increased my fiber. The bleeding continued. The exhaustion deepened. The cramps got worse. And I started losing weight. By August, I'd lost 15 pounds. Not from trying. Not from dieting or exercising more. The weight just fell off. My clothes hung loose. My face looked gaunt. Friends asked if I was okay. Their eyes filled with concern that made my stomach twist with anxiety. 'Cause I didn't know if I was okay. I had no idea what was happening to me. The fatigue was overwhelming now. I'd started calling in sick to work once or twice a week because I literally couldn't get out of bed. When I did make it to the office, I was useless. Staring at my computer screen, unable to focus, counting down the hours until I could go home and sleep. The stomach cramps had evolved from occasional discomfort to constant pain. A deep, gnawing ache in my lower abdomen that never fully went away. And the bleeding had increased. Not dramatically, but enough that I was going through more toilet paper, seeing blood more often, feeling a low-level panic every time I used the bathroom. I made another appointment with Dr. Patterson. This time I brought notes. A detailed log of every symptom every day for the past month. Dates, times, severity ratings. I tracked everything like I was conducting a scientific study. I've lost 15 pounds in 2 months, I told her, sliding my notebook across her desk. I'm exhausted all the time. The bleeding hasn't stopped. The cramping is constant now, and I'm having trouble focusing at work. Something is really wrong. She flipped through my notes, her expression unreadable. Have you been eating normally? Yes. Well, my appetite is a little decreased, but I'm still eating regular meals. Depression can cause weight loss and appetite changes. Have you been feeling sad? Hopeless? I feel frustrated that no one is listening to me. My voice came out sharper than I intended. I took a breath. I'm sorry, but Dr. Patterson, please, look at my notes. This isn't normal. I know my body. Something is wrong. She set down the notebook. Kate, I hear you. I can see you're struggling. But I have to tell you, all of your symptoms are consistent with anxiety and depression. The weight loss, the fatigue, the GI issues, the difficulty concentrating. These are textbook symptoms of anxiety and depression. What about the blood? Still likely hemorrhoids. Have you been using the cream I prescribed? Yes, religiously. It hasn't helped. These things take time. And if you're still straining due to constipation, I'm not constipated anymore. The stool softener worked for that. But I'm still bleeding. She was quiet for a moment, studying me. I could see her making calculations, deciding something. Okay, she said finally. I'll refer you to a gastroenterologist. They can do an examination and make sure there's nothing going on. But Kate, I have to be honest with you. I think what you're really going to benefit from is increasing your anxiety medication and being more consistent with therapy. How many therapy sessions have you attended? 3, I admitted. That's not enough. Therapy takes time and commitment. I really encourage you to stick with it. I left with a referral to a GI specialist and a new prescription for a higher dose of anti-anxiety medication. The GI appointment was scheduled for 6 weeks out. 6 more weeks of deteriorating. 6 more weeks of bleeding and pain and exhaustion. 6 more weeks of feeling like I was slowly dying while everyone told me I was fine. September came and I was a shell of myself. I'd lost 25 pounds total. My clothes looked like they belonged to someone else. My skin had taken on a grayish pallor that no amount of makeup could hide. I'd stopped going to work entirely. Had to take medical leave. My boss was understanding but concerned. Take all the time you need, she'd said. Just focus on getting better. But I wasn't getting better. I was getting worse. The pain was constant now. A deep, persistent ache in my lower abdomen that sometimes spiked into sharp, stabbing cramps that took my breath away. I was using the bathroom 10-12 times a day. The bleeding had increased. Sometimes it was bright red. Sometimes it was darker, mixed in with my stool in a way that made my heart race with fear. I couldn't eat without feeling sick. Couldn't sleep despite the exhaustion. Couldn't think straight through the fog of pain and fatigue and fear. My best friend Sarah came over one evening and found me on the bathroom floor, too weak to stand up after a particularly bad bout of cramping. Kate, oh my God. She helped me up, her face pale with shock. You need to go to the emergency room. I have an appointment with the GI doctor in 2 weeks. I don't care. Look at you. You can barely stand. The ER will just tell me I'm anxious. They'll send me home with nothing. I've read the stories. Women who go to the ER with symptoms like mine get dismissed all the time. They'll say I'm drug-seeking or attention-seeking or, Kate, you're dying. Her voice cracked. I don't know what's wrong with you, but something is seriously wrong. Please let me take you to the hospital. I started crying. Big, heaving sobs that hurt my stomach and made me dizzy. I'm so tired, I whispered. I'm so tired of fighting, of trying to convince people something's wrong, of being told I'm just anxious when I know something is really wrong. Sarah held me while I cried, and then she said something that changed everything. Then stop trying to convince them. Start demanding. You have a right to test. You have a right to answers. Stop asking permission and start telling them what you need. 2 weeks later, I finally saw the gastroenterologist, Dr. Chan. I prepared like I was going to war. I'd printed out my symptom log. I'd written a list of every symptom with dates. I'd researched medical terminology so I could describe what was happening in clinical terms. I was not leaving that office without answers. Dr. Chan was younger than Dr. Patterson, maybe early 40s, with kind eyes and an efficient manner. He reviewed my chart while I sat on the exam table, shaking with nerves and exhaustion. So you've been experiencing rectal bleeding for about 4 months now? He asked. Yes. Along with severe fatigue? abdominal pain, and unintentional weight loss of 25 pounds. He looked up. 25 pounds? In how long? 4 months. His expression shifted. Something in his eyes sharpened with concern. And Dr. Patterson treated you for hemorrhoids? Yes. The cream didn't help. Did she do a rectal exam? I blinked. No. She just prescribed the cream based on my description. He was quiet for a moment, typing notes. Then, I'd like to do an examination. Is that okay with you? Yes. Please. The exam was brief and uncomfortable. When it was done, Dr. Chan helped me sit back up and his face was serious. Kate, I'm going to be straight with you. I can't feel any hemorrhoids. And given your age, your symptoms, and the duration, I want to schedule you for a colonoscopy as soon as possible. Relief flooded through me so powerfully I almost started crying. Dr. Patterson said I was too young for a colonoscopy. That's not accurate. While colon cancer is rare in people under 40, it's not impossible. And your symptom profile is concerning enough that we need to rule it out, especially with the unintentional weight loss and the duration of bleeding. He paused. I have to ask, has anyone in your family had colon cancer? My grandfather. He died of it when I was 10. Dr. Chen's jaw tightened. And Dr. Patterson knew this? It's in my medical history. I assumed she'd considered it. He didn't say anything, but I saw anger flash across his face. Professional, controlled anger, but anger nonetheless. I'm going to put you in for an urgent colonoscopy. We should be able to get you in within the next week. In the meantime, if your symptoms worsen, if you see a significant increase in bleeding, if you develop a fever, if the pain becomes unbearable, I want you to go to the emergency room immediately. Understood. Understood. As I was leaving, he stopped me. Kate? I'm sorry you had to fight this hard for basic tests. You shouldn't have had to. I nodded, not trusting myself to speak, because he was the first doctor who'd actually listened, who'd actually examined me, who treated my concerns as valid instead of dismissible. And I had a terrible feeling that his concern meant my worst fears were about to be confirmed. The colonoscopy was scheduled for October 12, 2021. I had to do the prep the night before, drinking a gallon of disgusting liquid that would clean out my system. After months of constipation and bleeding, the prep was brutal. Sarah stayed with me, bringing ginger ale and crackers and keeping me company through the long, awful night. Whatever happens tomorrow, she said around 2 a.m., both of us exhausted, at least you'll have answers. I'm terrified, I admitted. I know. But Kate, you've been so strong through all of this. Whatever it is, you'll handle it. I wanted to believe her. The colonoscopy itself was easy. They sedated me and I don't remember anything. I woke up in recovery feeling groggy and disoriented. Sarah holding my hand. Is it done? I mumbled. It's done. Dr. Chan wants to talk to you once you're more alert. Something in her voice made my stomach drop. Sarah, what's wrong? Let's wait for the doctor, okay? But I knew. Somehow, in that moment I knew. Dr. Chan came in 20 minutes later. His expression carefully neutral in that way doctors have when they're about to deliver bad news. Kate, I'm going to be direct with you because I think you've earned that much. He pulled up a chair, sitting so we were at eye level. We found a large mass in your colon. Based on what I saw, I'm quite certain it's cancer. I took several biopsies that will send for confirmation, but I want you to be prepared for that diagnosis. The room tilted. Cancer, I repeated. The word felt foreign in my mouth. Yes, it's a significant tumor, approximately 6 centimeters. We'll need to do staging scans to see if it's spread, but based on size and appearance, I suspect we're looking at stage 3, possibly stage 4. I'm 32 years old, I said stupidly. I know. I'm so sorry. Colon cancer in young people is rare, but it's been increasing in recent years. We don't fully understand why. How long? I couldn't finish the question. How long has it been there? He understood. Based on the size and your symptom timeline, I'd estimate at least a year. Possibly longer. A year. A year of this tumor growing inside me while I begged for help. A year of being told I was anxious. A year of being dismissed and patronized and gaslit. If we'd caught it earlier. I started. Dr. Chen's face darkened. Let's focus on moving forward. We have a diagnosis now. That means we can treat it. I'm referring you to an oncologist, Dr. Sarah Williams. She's excellent. And we'll start putting together a treatment plan immediately. Am I going to die? The bluntness of the question hung in the air. I can't answer that. he said gently. But I can tell you that colon cancer, even at stage 3, is treatable. The survival rates have improved dramatically. You're young and otherwise healthy, which works in your favor. We're going to fight this, Kate. And you've already proven you're a fighter. The biopsies came back 3 days later. Adenocarcinoma. Colon cancer. Confirmed. The staging scans followed: CT scan, PET scan, more blood work than I thought my body had left to give. Stage 3C. The tumor had spread to several nearby lymph nodes. 18 lymph nodes removed during staging surgery, 10 of them positive for cancer. Not stage 4, which was the only good news. It hadn't spread to distant organs. But it was advanced. Aggressive. I'd need surgery to remove part of my colon. Then chemotherapy. 6 months of intensive treatment. Maybe more, depending on how my body responded. My prognosis: 53% 5-year survival rate. A coin flip. Slightly better odds than a coin flip. I was 32 years old and my life had become a statistics game. I reported Dr. Patterson to the medical board. Not out of revenge. Out of necessity. Because somewhere out there, right now, there's another young woman sitting in a doctor's office being told her symptoms are anxiety. Being dismissed. Being sent home with antidepressants when what she needs is tests. And that woman might die because no one listened. My complaint was detailed. I included my symptom logs, the timeline of appointments, the repeated dismissals despite escalating symptoms and family history. I later learned Dr. Patterson received a formal reprimand. Not enough to lose her license, but enough to be on record. Enough that hopefully maybe she'd listen to the next young woman who came in saying something was wrong. It wasn't enough, but it was something. Surgery was scheduled for November 3, 2021. 3 weeks after diagnosis. 3 weeks to get my affairs in order, as they say. I wrote a will. Made sure my parents had access to my accounts. Said goodbye to Bailey, my dog, knowing I might not wake up from surgery. The surgery took 7 hours. They removed 18 inches of my colon. Resected the tumor. Harvested lymph nodes for pathology. Reconnected everything that was left. I woke up with a tube down my throat. Another in my nose. IVs in both arms, a catheter, and a drain coming out of my abdomen. I was in the ICU. Every breath hurt. Every tiny movement was agony. But I was alive. The pathology from the surgery confirmed what we already knew. Stage 3C, high-grade tumor, lymph node involvement. But they'd gotten clean margins. The tumor was out. All visible cancer was removed. Now we just had to kill whatever microscopic cells might be hiding, waiting to grow back. Chemotherapy started 3 weeks later. FOLFOX regimen. Every 2 weeks. Infusions that took 6 hours each time. Plus a take-home pump I'd wear for 48 hours after each treatment, continuously infusing more poison into my system. The side effects were brutal in ways I wasn't prepared for. The nausea was relentless. I'd go days barely able to keep down water. The fatigue made the pre-diagnosis exhaustion look like a joke. There were days I couldn't lift my head off the pillow. Days my mom had to help me to the bathroom because I didn't have the strength to walk. The neuropathy, nerve damage from the chemo, started in my fingers and toes and spread. Cold sensitivity so severe that drinking water felt like swallowing razor blades. Numbness and tingling that made it hard to hold things, to walk, to function. My hair fell out. All of it. Eyebrows, eyelashes, everything. I lost more weight, dropping to 98 pounds on my 5 feet 7 inches frame. I looked like a skeleton with skin stretched over it. But the worst part wasn't the physical symptoms. It was the anger. Rage at a system that failed me. Rage at doctors who didn't listen. Rage at the months I'd spent begging for help while cancer grew unchecked in my body. Rage at the fact that if I'd been a man or older or taken more seriously, I might have caught it at stage 1. When the cure rate is over 90%. When treatment is easier and prognosis is better. Instead, I was stage 3C. Fighting for my life. Enduring poison and surgery and pain because no one believed a 32-year-old woman when she said something was wrong. My therapist, yes, I did end up needing therapy, just not for the reasons Dr. Patterson thought, helped me process the anger. It's okay to be furious, she told me. What happened to you was medical negligence. You have every right to be angry. But the anger isn't helping me heal. No, but suppressing it won't either. Feel it. Process it. Use it. And then when you're ready, let it go. Took months. It took surviving chemo. It took clear scans. Took reaching remission. But eventually I did let it go. Not the memory. Not the lesson. But the rage. Because carrying that weight was like carrying the cancer itself. It would only consume me from the inside. I finished chemotherapy in June 2022, 14 months after my first symptom, 8 months after diagnosis, 6 months of poison pumped into my veins. My first post-treatment scans in August showed no evidence of disease. I was in remission. I wish I could say I felt joy, relief, celebration. Instead, I felt numb. PTSD from the whole ordeal had settled into my bones. Every ache, every pain, every time I used the bathroom, I'd panic. Was it back? Was the cancer back? Anxiety. The other survivors called it. The anxiety before each surveillance scan, wondering if this would be the scan that showed recurrence. I'd have scans every 3 months for the first 2 years, then every 6 months, then annually. I'm writing this in November 2024. 3 years post-diagnosis. 3 years in ED. My 5-year mark is in October 2026. If I make it there cancer-free, my survival odds jump significantly. I'm cautiously optimistic. But I'll never be the person I was before. The experience changed me in ways I'm still discovering. I left my job. Couldn't go back to the stress and demands of corporate marketing when I'd almost died. I went back to school. Got certified as a patient advocate. Now I help other people navigate the medical system, especially young people who aren't being heard. I volunteer with the Cologne Cancer Coalition, doing awareness campaigns aimed at young people. Because the rates are rising. Because most people don't know the symptoms. Because by the time most young people are diagnosed, it's late stage, just like mine. I speak at medical schools when invited, telling my story to future doctors, begging them to listen to their patients, to not dismiss young people, to remember that rare doesn't mean impossible. Some doctors get defensive. We can't do extensive testing on everyone who comes in with vague symptoms. But my symptoms weren't vague. They were textbook. Rectal bleeding, abdominal pain, unintentional weight loss, fatigue. Those are the exact symptoms of colon cancer. Add in family history. That's not vague. That's a red flag parade. The problem wasn't my symptoms. The problem was implicit bias. Age bias. Gender bias. The assumption that a young woman's concerns are overblown, that we're anxious and emotional rather than sick. It almost killed me. And it's killing other people right now. I reconnected with Sarah recently. We finally took that trip to Greece 3 years late, but we made it. Sitting on a beach in Santorini watching the sunset, she said, "I'm so glad you didn't give up." There were times I wanted to, I admitted. Times during chemo where I thought maybe dying would be easier than fighting. What kept you going? I thought about it. Rage, honestly. I was too angry to die. Too angry at being dismissed and ignored. And gaslit. I survived partially out of spite, just to prove them all wrong. She laughed. That's the most you thing I've ever heard. And because of people like you. People who believed me when doctors didn't. Who held my hand through the awful parts. Who reminded me I wasn't crazy. You were never crazy. You were sick. And they should have listened. If you're reading this and something in my story resonated with you. If you're dealing with symptoms that aren't being taken seriously. If you're being told it's just anxiety, or just stress, please listen to me. Trust your body. You know when something is wrong. That instinct, that knowing it's real. It's not anxiety making you sick. It's your body screaming for help. Advocate for yourself. Stop asking permission. Start demanding. Say, I want this test. If you won't order it, document in my chart that I requested it and you denied it. Medical professionals hate that last part. Because it creates liability. And suddenly, mysteriously, they become more willing to order tests. Get a second opinion. Get a third. Get 10 if you have to. Dr. Patterson dismissed me. Dr. Chun saved my life. The difference between them was one doctor listened. Know the symptoms of colon cancer, especially if you're young. Rectal bleeding or blood in stool, even a little. Persistent change in bowel habits. Constipation or diarrhea lasting more than a few days. Abdominal pain or cramping. Unintentional weight loss. Persistent fatigue. Feeling like you can't completely empty your bowels. Narrow stools. If you have multiple symptoms lasting more than 2 weeks, demand a colonoscopy. I don't care if you're 25. I don't care if your doctor says you're too young. You're not too young to have cancer. You're just too young for doctors to take seriously. Document everything. Keep a symptom journal with dates and details. Bring it to appointments. When a doctor dismisses you, ask them to document the dismissal in your medical record. Paper trails save lives. I'm writing this from my small apartment in Portland. Bailey is asleep on the couch beside me. My next scan is in 2 weeks. I'm still anxious before scans. That probably won't ever go away completely. But I'm alive. I survived stage 3C colon cancer that should have been caught months earlier. I survived the medical gaslighting, the dismissal, the systemic failure that almost killed me. And I'm using that survival to help others. Last week, I helped a 28-year-old woman get a colonoscopy after her doctor said she was too young and too anxious. They found polyps, precancerous growths that, if left for a few more years, would have become cancer. We caught it early, because she advocated for herself, because she'd heard stories like mine and refused to accept dismissal. That's why I share my story. That's why I speak at medical schools and write articles and do interviews, because every person I help get diagnosed early is a life saved. Every doctor I convince to listen is potentially dozens of future patients heard. Every system I help changes hundreds of people who might not have to fight as hard as I did. To the medical professionals reading this, please listen to your patients. We're not hysterical. We're not anxious. We're not overreacting. We're sick. And we need you to help us. Yes, sometimes patients do have anxiety. Sometimes symptoms are stress-related. But sometimes that young woman sitting in your office trying not to cry while describing her symptoms is dying. I'm Kate. And I survived because I refused to give up. You can too.